Hi everyone, how are you all doing? I hope you're really well today. Now do come in and join me, and a very warm welcome to today's video, which is going to be a comparison and wear test of my Bare Minerals and Laura Geller foundations and other products that I have from those lines. Now I'm going to be putting my Bare Minerals foundation, here it is, on this side of my face, and my Laura Geller foundation and products on this side of my face, so you'll be able to see how they all look on me. So I'm 48 years old. I've got oily combination skin, which is prone to a bit of rosacea. I've got the usual issues that we get at my age with fine lines and wrinkles and pores and all. You know the stuff, don't you? I'm dealing with all of that. So we're going to see how both of these brands look on my face side by side, and then later on I'm going to come back after a few hours so that you can see how both brands wear on my face through the day. And then at the end of the video I'll give my sort of final verdict as to which brand I prefer, and which I think overall has worn the best on my skin. So I hope that sounds interesting to you. If it does, then keep watching. So let's get the hairband in and make a start. So before I go in with the powder foundations, I'm going to use the primers that both of these brands have to offer. And of course, with Laura Geller, if you're familiar with Laura Geller, if you've been watching on QVC over the years, you will of course know about the very famous Spackle primer. I have this in the original, so it's called Spackle Skin Perfecting Primer, and it's in the original clear version. They do a few different versions of this, don't they? Sort of different finishes, and I think there's a tinted one as well, but I'm going to use this one. Now on the Bare Minerals side, the primer that I have from that brand is their Prime Time Redness Reducing Primer. So I did buy this when my rosacea was playing up, just to sort of see if it calmed down the redness on my cheeks. I mean, I don't know if it did particularly, but it was a nice primer and it worked very well at just priming my skin and smoothing everything out. So I'm going to put both of these on my face now. So let's go in first with the Laura Geller. So we've got a nice pump, nice tube there, and it comes out looking quite white like that. And I'm just going to rub it all over my face, taking care only to put it on this side of my face and not to go wandering over here, which is really quite difficult. Have you ever tried just putting makeup on one side of your face? It's really quite hard. I did a video the other day where I was doing a half and a half face, and putting products just on one side of your nose, harder than it looks. But here we go. I'm going to do my best to just get it all over my face there. Lovely. Now on the other side then, I'm going to go in now with my Bare Minerals primer, and this one doesn't have a pump, it's just a squeezy tube like this. And when you take this product out, it's actually green, because anything redness reducing is usually green, to counteract the red, because red and green are opposites, aren't they, on the colour wheel? So the theory is that they will counteract each other. So let's see. Now personally, I don't feel there's enough green in this product for it to have much of an effect, but as I said, it just works as a nice primer really, regardless of whether it reduces my redness or not. So again, on the side of my nose, just on this side, down there. Now with powder foundations, they do recommend you use primers with them, don't they? I'm not normally a big primer wearer, if I'm honest. If I'm using a liquid foundation, I don't normally bother with them, but they do say, especially the Laura Geller, that for best results use it over the primer. So that's what I'm doing. So powder foundations then. I like the idea of a powder foundation because I like the ease of it, you know, it's not messy, it's travel friendly. You just open a compact, swirl it with a brush, dab, 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 rub it in, buff it in, and you're done. And I love the idea of that. And these two brands in particular target themselves at more mature skin, don't they? Especially Laura Geller. Laura Geller really does say that her brand is for more mature women, people. But she uses a lot of women, doesn't she, on QVC as her models, older women, which I think is great. And it does look really, really lovely, doesn't it, on their more mature skins. Bare Minerals, I think, I don't know, I think they're sort of aimed at everybody, aren't they, Bare Minerals? Even non-makeup wearers like this product, don't they? Because it does look so natural and so undetectable on the skin. And it is meant to be lovely on mature skins as well. So which side shall I start with? I think I'm going to start with Laura Geller, actually. So I also did a Laura Geller video recently, which I will also link down below. That was more of a sort of first impressions. I hadn't been using the products for very long, so it was very much, you know, oh, this is all new to me. How do I feel about it? Well, I've been having more of a play around with these products since I filmed that video. And well, I actually bought two foundations. They're exactly the same. It's the Baked, Balance and Brighten foundation from Laura Geller, and I've got it in light and I've got it in fair. And one of my criticisms of this product was the shade range and how, I mean, first of all, I bought the light one, but it was just far too orange for me. It was very, very warm toned. And as you can see, they're creams that are baked onto terracotta tiles that turn into a powder. When you apply them, they go back into a cream on your skin. But you see, you've got sort of multiple shades in here all swirled around. And I just felt that the light one was too warm toned for me. So the one I've been using the most is this one in fair. It's a bit more pinkier toned, it's a bit cooler toned. So this is the one that suits me the best at the moment at this time of year. And I've got one of her kabuki brushes. I really like this brush, actually. I like the fact that it's got a lid, it's retractable, and it comes with a slant like that. And the idea is you get your product, you just swirl this brush on the product and you apply it to your face. So let's go ahead. And my biggest issue, I'm going back in again, my biggest issue with this is I don't seem to get much coverage at all. And I know I'm doing it again, aren't I? Laura Geller says that with this brush, if you want a light sheer coverage, you use it like this. If you want more coverage, you kind of push that up so that it's dense, you see, so it's very, very dense. So I'm going to use it like this today because I want more coverage. Back into the product. And she says, dab it, you can dab it, you can swirl it, you know, do whatever you feel that gives you the finish that you like. So here we go. Am I getting some coverage now? Maybe a little bit. But do you see what I mean? It's not easy to see. Oh yes, that's where it is. That's where I've put it. Is it? I mean, some people absolutely love this product and it's the only foundation that they will ever use. And I think a lot of it is what you're used to, isn't it? If you're used to a very, very sheer light layer of coverage, then that's what you get used to, isn't it? That's how you get used to seeing your skin. But for me, I'm used to, I mean, in the past, I've worn sort of thick, heavy, you know, full coverage foundation. So that's kind of how I'm used to seeing my skin. And this, I mean, you've seen how many times I've gone back in and in and in and on. And I don't know. I mean, I could sit here all day. I could sit here all day doing this. And I just don't think it, you know, I don't think I'd ever look like I've got any foundation on. That's the side with no makeup on. This is the side with the Laura Geller. Did I get any coverage at all? I mean, it's hard to say, isn't it? But there you go. That's my experience on my skin of the Laura Geller Baked, Balance and Brighten foundation. It does absolutely nothing for me. So on the other side, let's go in with my Bare Minerals Original. Now, this is a loose powder foundation. So it's a bit more fiddly, a bit more messy. But what I like about it is when you open it, you've got this sifter in here. So you twist it round, you see, and then the holes appear. So you can very easily just tap out into the lid the amount of product that you want, and then you can close it. You see, you close it off so it doesn't make a mess. There we go, that's closed. So it's actually not as messy as you might think. Now I've got the Bare Minerals brush. This is called their Beautiful Finish brush, and I'm going to go into this product as Bare Minerals recommend. So you get it really, really well into the bristles, swirl, 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 tap, and then you buff it into your skin. Yeah, and immediately I've got coverage from that. You see, all that redness immediately has been taken down. Whereas on this side, you can still see it. And you saw how long I spent putting that foundation on. So for me, Bare Minerals is the winner in terms of the foundation. Now, as I go through this video, I'm going to be applying all of the various products that I have from these brands, and I'm going to tell you which I prefer, because it's not the case that I like all of Bare Minerals products more than Laura Geller products. Laura Geller has got some really, really excellent standout products for me, and I prefer those ones over the Bare Minerals. So as I go along, I'm going to tell you which I prefer, and then at the end, I'm just going to give you an overall which side of my face do I prefer. So I hope that makes sense. Let me know what you think as well of both sides of my face and which you prefer. And let me know what you think of these products if you've used them yourself as well and what you think. Now, look at that coverage on the Bare Minerals side. I love it. It's quite a natural finish, but if I wanted to build this up even more, to have even more of a full coverage, I definitely could. But I don't want to do that. As I say, I'm going out today. I don't want it to look very obvious that I'm wearing two different makeups on my face. Now, I should tell you what shade I'm using this in. So it's Bare Minerals Original, and I've got this in Light Beige 09. And yeah, really happy with that. Now, I'm not going to use a setting powder today, only because I don't have one from Laura Geller. They do one, I think they do a couple of different ones, but I don't have one. In terms of the Bare Minerals, they do the Mineral Veil, don't they? Which is another loose powder, which is a really nice setting powder. But for fairness, I'm not going to use it. So both sides of my face, neither of them are being set with powder, just to make it a fair comparison. So what I would do next then is, after setting powder, I'd go in with a bronzer. And the bronzer that I have from Laura Geller is actually in this palette, which I did use in my Laura Geller video. If you saw that, you'll have seen this before. It's the Best of the Best Tuscan Dreams palette. And if I just show you, if I remind you, you get your blush in, what's this called? Starfish Island. You've got this highlighter. This is beautiful, this highlighter in French Vanilla. And you've got this bronzer here in Roman Holiday. And in that video, I did use these products, but I felt that the bronzer was a bit too warm toned for me. It was a bit more shiny and glowy than I usually prefer my bronzers to be. But I used it because, I was trying these products out for the video. So because we're doing Laura Geller and Bare Minerals, this is the only bronzer I have from Laura Geller. So this is one that I'm going to use today. And I've got my big fluffy Bailey brush to apply it with. Now, I did learn in that video that I need a light hand. So I'm just going to pick up quite a small amount, tap it off and just apply it. So I need a bit more than that because this is a very it's a very loosely packed brush, so it only applies a sheer layer. And I'm going to put a little bit up here as well. Yeah, just for a little bit of definition. Okay, there we go. So if you use this bronzer with a light hand and with a large fluffy brush, it's actually quite nice. I think I over applied it in the last video. So there we go. Now on my Bare Minerals side, the bronzer that I have from them is another loose powder. They do like their loose powder products, don't they, Bare Minerals? And this one, it's just called Warmth. Where is it? It's got a sticker underneath, so I can't see it. But this product is called Warmth. And they say it's one of those very versatile products that suits everybody. It just depends on how much you apply. So, you know, if you apply it again with a light hand, then it can bronze fair skins beautifully. But if you are a deeper skin tone, just build it up and it will make you look bronzed and tan as well. So it's the same process. You've got your sifter, you just tap out a few bits in the lid. Now this product, at first, it really scared me, this did, because it's very easy to overdo it and you can look orange if you're not careful. So again, I've got another big fluffy brush and I'm just gonna go into this very, very lightly and just apply that in roughly the same sort of place as I applied the other one. So under that cheekbone, just there, and up into the temple and on my forehead, a little bit on my nose as well. So yeah, there you go. I don't know if you saw my video on makeup products that scare me, but I actually used this bronzer in that video and I didn't really know how to apply it at that time, and I used far too much of it. And a lot of you did comment and tell me that I used far too much of it, and I know it was user error completely. So I'm a bit more sensible now with how much of it I'm applying. So I think I'm gonna leave that there. So what are we thinking so far? We've got Bare Minerals and we've got Laura Geller. I think for me so far, it's definitely Bare Minerals that's the winner, just because I love the finish and I love the coverage that I've got. So yeah, there we are. Now then, next after that, I would apply some blush. And you do get a blush in this palette. You get the Starfish Island blush. And I loved it. It was beautiful. I love blush anyway. I love a very pigmented blush, whether it's matte or glowy. I don't mind. I've got lots of different finishes of blush in my collection and I love them all. And because I did love that one, I went ahead and bought another single blush in the shade Pink Buttercream. And I love it. They're slightly different shades. This one is that sort of pinky, just a true pink, whereas the Starfish Island is more peachy, isn't it? So I think today I'm going to use Starfish Island because it's a similar tone to the Bare Minerals blush that I'm going to use. If I just show you what I'm putting on this side of my face, I've got one of the Bare Minerals bronzer blushes. So this is like a bronzer blush hybrid type product, and this is in the shade Kiss of Pink. But I think it's actually more peachy than pinky. What do you think? So that's why I'm going to use this blush today, because I want that sort of similar, I want a similar look on both sides of my face. So there we go. So I'm going to go into the Starfish Island on an angled brush, quite a dense angled brush. Tap, 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 and just apply that quite high on that cheekbone area here. And it's, oh, I love it. Just the colour, the finish, how it applies, it's so smooth. I mean, these Laura Geller products, they're baked, aren't they? They're creams baked on terracotta tiles in Italy. They're all made in Italy. And they're so smooth and creamy and they blend like a dream. They just go on gorgeously. And that is a beautiful colour. I love it. So on the Bare Minerals side then, I've already shown you, I'm going to go in with this bronzer on a similar brush. It's an angled, quite densely packed brush. It's the most similar one I had to the other one. So get some of that on here and run that over my left cheekbone. So again, this is a nice sort of radiant, healthy looking, glowy blush. So yeah, they're quite similar actually in colour, aren't they, those two? So that was good. chose well there. Right. Now, next in my makeup routine, I would fill in my eyebrows. I don't have an eyebrow pencil by either of these brands though, so I'm just going to quickly go off camera and fill them in with my Benefit Precisely My Brow, and this one is in the shade 2.5. So I'll see you in a minute. So I just filled in my eyebrows, and while I was gone, I also applied my eyeshadow primer product, which is my MAC Paint Pot, and this one is in the shade Painterly. Okay, so it's just a lovely sort of my skin tone sort of shade, just to prime my lids for eyeshadow, which is what I'm going to do next. Now, Laura Geller eyeshadows, I do really like them. And the ones I used in my other video are these ones here, and they're just so soft, they're buttery, they're creamy, they're blendable. I really loved them. It gave quite a subtle look on my eyes, but it was a lovely, soft, flattering, subtle look. So I'm going to do pretty much the same look that I did in that video. So with a fluffy brush like this is a MAC 217, I'm going to go into Alba, which is this mauvey pink shade here, and just get that in my brush and just run it into my crease and over my lower lid, my mobile lid. It's funny, I say lower lid. When I say lower lid, I mean this bit here, but actually this is your lower lid, isn't it? So I should say my mobile lid, shouldn't I? And then because I've got hooded eyes, I'm just going to run that up slightly higher than my crease as well. And they're lovely. These eyeshadows are great because Laura Geller does make her products for older skins. You know, they don't emphasize anything that I don't want to be emphasized, if you know what I mean. That is a beautiful base, very, very flattering shade of pink. Now I'm going to take a denser brush like this one, a dense shading brush, and I'm going to go into Luna, this matte brown here, and just place that in the outer corner like this. Really, really easy just to dab this on like this. Lovely. And then on my finger, I'm going to take Perla, which is this highlighty colour. It's gorgeous. And just put that in the inner corner. Like that. It's lovely, isn't it? Actually, I'm going to take a bit more of that darker shade and just bring it up a little bit higher into the crease area. About there. And then I'm going to take a clean, large, fluffy brush and just blend it all together. As we do get older, blending is very important, isn't it? Don't want any harsh lines or sharp edges. There. Love that. Okay, so on my other eye, this is where I might look a bit like Crazy Lady, because the only eyeshadows I have from Bare Minerals are these ones. They're in one of their Mineralist eyeshadow palettes, and the colour of this one is Heathered. Gorgeous, beautiful shades, and as you can see, they're in the purple family, aren't they? So I might look a bit odd. Obviously the first shade of Laura Geller I used, Alba, was that pinky color, wasn't it? But because it's very, very soft and muted, I think I might get away with it. So what am I gonna do here? I think I'm gonna go in with this matte shade here. So you've got a nice mix of mattes and shimmers in this heathered palette. They're lovely, these little palettes. And I'm going to go into that on another large fluffy brush and put it in exactly the same place that I put the other one. So in the crease, slightly higher, and down onto the mobile lid. Down here, really good amount of pigment. I mean, they're not quite as buttery, soft, blendable. They're not quite as, you know, lovely to apply as the Laura Geller, but I mean, they're still nice. No problem there at all. It was very nice still. And then on top of that, I'm going to go into this shade, Lavender 2, it's called, just on that same brush. And this has a bit more of a sheen to it. Yeah, lovely. And then, oh yeah, my eyes are looking quite different, aren't they? Oh dear. Whoa dear, what shall I do next? Ah, I don't have a brown shade. I don't have a brown shade, do I? I think I might just leave that there, actually. I might just leave that there because next I'm going to go in with liner, with eyeliner. And one of my absolute all-time favourite products from Laura Geller, standout product. If you're just going to get one, I would recommend this one. And it's one of her eyeliners, those, what they call the Kajal Longwear eyeliners in their little fat stubby pens like this. And they're so good. She does them in loads and loads of colours. And I've got this one in, what's it called? Is it Smoky Topaz, I think. Yeah, Smoky Topaz it's called. Absolutely love it. It's so easy to put on. It doesn't transfer. It stays put. It's just one of the best eyeliners I've ever used. So I'm just going to put this on the Laura Geller side, just on my upper eyelid, as close as possible to my lash line. There, hardly needed to put any pressure on at all there. Did you see? So easy. Now, if you want a tight line, you can. It is possible, but it's a bit trickier because it's such a thick pencil. But you can do it. You can get underneath there. Oh, but look how that has just thickened up that lash line in comparison with the other side. It's lovely, isn't it? Now, I don't have a Bare Minerals eyeliner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this palette and I'm going to go into this darkest, deepest shade here on a slanted eyeliner brush. Now, this brush is fantastic. Honestly, I highly, highly recommend you get one of these brushes because if you don't have a certain eyeliner, or if there's a certain shade of eyeliner, but you just don't have it and you want to use it, if you get any eyeshadow of any colour on an angled brush like this, you can make it into a lovely eyeliner. So let's do just that. So let's take some of that on this brush and just put it where I put that other eyeliner. Now, this is a lot softer. It's not going to be as punchy as this side. But, you know, what am I going to do? I don't have a Bare Minerals eyeliner. No particular reason. It's not that I don't like them or anything. I just don't have one. I've just never bought one. Maybe I should. Have you used Bare Minerals eyeliners? Are they any good? What do you think of them? Let me know. If I just do a slightly thicker line on this side, it will just help, won't it, to give that depth. But these purple shades are gorgeous. I do really like them. If you have green eyes like me, you know, you can never go wrong with these sort of purpley, lilac-y, heathery shades. So there we are. That's both of my eyeshadows on. And yes, they are very different, aren't they? But oh well. What am I going to do? I'm doing it for science, people. It's for science. We're doing an experiment. Now, mascara would be next. And again, I don't have a mascara from either of these brands either. So I'm just going to use my current favourite, my L'Oreal Panorama in All Night Black. And I'm just going to apply this to my top lashes. Still my favourite, this one. I still haven't found another one that beats it. As much as I've tried, I just don't get the look that I want from any other mascara. And it doesn't smudge, it doesn't flake, it lasts. It's just the best one that I've tried. And, you know, when I find a product I love, I do tend to stick with it. Unless they discontinue it. Because that's been happening a lot, hasn't it, recently? Oh my goodness, so many products are getting discontinued or reformulated. And I know why, I understand the reasons why. You know, a lot of the time they've had to, haven't they? Because regulations have changed. If this ever goes, though, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be very, very upset and sad if this ever goes. But I don't think it will. Right, so there we are. That's my mascara on and my eyeshadow is complete. So what is next? Oh, I think I'm on lips. I'm on lips, aren't I? Yeah, because as much as I love the Laura Geller highlighter in French Vanilla, I don't have a Bare Minerals highlighter. So, I want the look to be as even as possible. If you want to see that highlighter in action though, I did use it in my Laura Geller video. So if you want to see it, go and watch that one and you'll just see how gorgeous it is on my skin. Right, so in terms of lips then, the two lip products I have from these brands that are the most similar are my Bare Minerals lip gloss. This is in the shade Zen. And I've got a Laura Geller lip oil, this one, and this is in the shade Runner Up. So again, they're not the same. They're not the same at all, but they both leave a lovely hydrating glossy finish on my lips. So let's put this one on. Lip oil. Now, even though this calls itself a lip oil, I think it's similar to a traditional lip gloss myself, because it's just very opaque. You get such a lovely amount of colour payoff from it, and the staying power as well. This lasts longer than any lip oil that I've tried. So I'm going to try and just put this on the right side of my lips. See how this goes. Gorgeous, natural, fairly natural colour as well, this one. Lovely shade, isn't it? Absolutely love that. Now then, I'm going to look weird, aren't I? Because this is like a bright pink, isn't it? Oh, didn't think this through, but we have to work with what we've got, don't we? All right. Oh no, this isn't the same. I might get away with it because this one is a lot sheerer. If the pigment in this was the same as the pigment in this, it would look weird. But because this is very sheer, the shade that you see here isn't the shade that you get on your lips. It's a much lighter, softer version. So I think I'll get away with it. In fact, yeah, I'm just gonna stop there, and it doesn't look too crazy, does it? Right, there we are. So that is all of the products that I have similar from Laura Geller on this side of my face and from Bare Minerals on this side of my face. So first impressions as they've all gone on. Let me just look in my mirror. Do you know what? I actually love it. I think that's a really, really gorgeous look. And okay, my eye colour, my eyeshadow colour is different. Yeah, there is that. But my skin actually looks good. I prefer the Bare Minerals skin, obviously, for the coverage, and I love that soft radiant glow that foundation leaves. This side, the foundation, it's neither here nor there, is it? It's not really giving me the coverage that I like, but the other products have gone on beautifully. That might be down to the spackle primer actually on this side. But yeah, so far, as it's first gone on in the morning, I think that's not bad. So keep watching and I will check back in a few hours so that you can see how it's looking as it wears throughout the day. Hi. So it's been about 4.5 hours since I put this makeup on. And I'm not taking you outside today because the weather is awful. So I've brought you here in the hallway where I've got a decent amount of light, natural light, just so that you can see what we're dealing with. So if I bring you a bit closer, we've got the Bare Minerals side of my face here, and we've got the Laura Geller side here. And I have to say, I mean, I'm looking very shiny, and excuse the red marks here, I've had my glasses on, but I'm looking very, very dewy and glowy and shiny, aren't I? But bear in mind, neither side of my face was set with a powder, which is something I would normally do, and I didn't use any setting sprays or anything like that. So I don't expect to get a full 8, 9, 10 hour day out of these products because I didn't set them. But just looking at what we're dealing with now after 4.5 hours, I mean, just at a glance, both sides of my face, they look pretty even, don't they? Obviously, not the eyeshadow because the colours are very, very different, aren't they? But in terms of my skin and my face, just for me, looking at it now, both sides look pretty well evenly matched. And when I first did the makeup, I remarked at how pleased I was at the coverage on the Bare Minerals side in comparison with the Laura Geller side. I feel like I didn't really get much coverage from the foundation on this side, but now it's actually looking quite nice, isn't it? And I don't know how, because I've literally put nothing else on my face. I've not used any touch-up powders or anything like that. So I don't know if maybe the spackle primer is doing a good job and the bronzer and the blush and the other products are making it look nice over here. I don't know. As far as the Bare Minerals side, I really, really like the colour of the blush and the bronze that I used as well. The only thing that I would say now that I'm not too keen on is how shiny I look. So under normal circumstances, I'd powder that down. In terms of the eye products, I mean, I like both sides, obviously not together with each other because they look ridiculous, but just, you know, if I was to wear a purple look, I really, really like these shadows, and I really love the Laura Geller side as well. I think this eye look, I think I prefer it actually today. I think I prefer the Laura Geller eye products, but I think I prefer the Bare Minerals face products. Obviously the lip products have worn off now, as you would expect after this length of time. So yeah, that's how we're looking now after 4.5 hours. Hi, so it's now been 6.5 hours since I put these products on my face, and I wanted to come and do my final check-in video here because they are starting to wear off a bit now. Pretty much on my chin, everything has gone, and around sort of around this area. My nose is starting to come off, and yeah, it's just not, I don't think I'm going to get much longer out of it, which is not surprising because I didn't set with the powder or anything like that. So I'm going to give you my final thoughts now, my sort of summary of both brands and what I think. Now the main difference between the Bare Minerals foundation and the Laura Geller foundation is that the Bare Minerals one is a mineral foundation. It's in the name, isn't it? It's a loose powder foundation, and every single ingredient in this is a mineral that's found naturally within the earth, and there's only about 5 ingredients in this actually, whereas this one is not a mineral foundation. It's a cream that's baked into a powder, and then when you apply it, it becomes a cream again. But there are a lot more ingredients in this one. I'll come on to the ingredients later and show you a list of both of them and what they both contain. But that is the main difference. Is Bare Minerals, it's all mineral, it's all natural ingredients found in the earth, whereas the Laura Geller is not. It's just a standard formula foundation. Another big difference is the Bare Minerals. This one comes in 29 different shades. I have it in light beige 09, as I said earlier. They've got quite a good selection of undertones as well. 29 shades. Okay, it's not the biggest shade range in the world, but I think most people will be able to find something that will work for them. And you blend it in, you can share it out, you can have a light coverage, you can have a full coverage, you can basically have whatever level of coverage you want with Bare Minerals. The Laura Geller only comes in 9 shades. And that is one of the main drawbacks of this foundation, in my opinion. Is yeah, the shade range I don't think is very good at all. I actually myself bought 2 of these. I bought one in light and I bought one in fair because, you know, the light one wasn't quite right for me. And if you've never come across these products before, if you've never used them before, you might struggle to choose a shade that suits you well. So yeah, that is a drawback of this foundation. The coverage is another main difference. As I just said, this one, you can have whatever level of coverage you want, from very, very sheer, light through to medium and full if you build it up. This one, you can only really get a sheer to light coverage from this. Certainly for me, in my opinion, this is a very, very light coverage product. The prices as well, the Bare Minerals, this one will cost you £36.50 for 8 grams of product, whereas this one is £24 for 9 grams of product. So yeah, the Laura Geller one is cheaper. So there is that. The Bare Minerals is vegan and cruelty free. So if that's something that's important to you, that's something to consider. Laura Geller is cruelty free but not vegan. Okay, so I mentioned the ingredients earlier. I'm just going to put up on screen now the differences. So the Bare Minerals has only 5 ingredients, and Laura Geller, I didn't count them, but there are lots and lots and lots, as you can see from the lists that are on the screen now. So if you are interested, just take a screenshot of this now, and you can have a read through to see if there are any ingredients that you might be sensitive to on those lists. Okay, so that's basically the foundations. In terms of what I think and which I think look nicer on my skin, I think there'll be no surprises here, but I do prefer the Bare Minerals foundation in terms of the coverage and the staying power, and just, you know, the overall finish of it. The next item that I used were the bronzers. So for the Bare Minerals, I used the Warmth bronzer, didn't I? And yeah, I think if you use a light hand and you don't apply it like a maniac, like I did in my last Bare Minerals video, no, not the Bare Minerals video, the one makeup that scares me, I went a bit mad, didn't I, with it? Whereas today, I think you know, it was quite soft and quite subtle, and I actually really like it. I like how it's worn. So yeah, I might start using this product a bit more because I think it looked really nice. Now, in terms of this bronzer, the Laura Geller Roman Holiday bronzer, I'm not a big fan. It's just too shiny and glowy for me. It's a bit warmer toned than I normally like a bronzer to be as well. So again, I prefer the Bare Minerals side. Now, the next thing that I did was my blush, wasn't it? So on my Bare Minerals side, I used my bronzer in the shade Kiss of Pink. So that's what's on this cheek. I think it's worn well. I think it still looks very nice. But my Laura Geller blush that I used today was Starfish Island. And I have to say, I prefer this. I love Laura Geller blushes. I think they're some of the best ones that you can get. I love baked formulas of blushes anyway. I love the fact that there are multiple shades in here, and I just love that sort of sheen and the dimension that it gives to your cheek as well. I've got another single Laura Geller blush here too in Pink Buttercream, and I just love them. I think they're great. So in the blush category, I would say Laura Geller is my winner. And next I used eyeshadows, and I know I've been looking a bit crazy all day today because I've got purple on one eye and neutrals on the other, and I think they both are good eyeshadows. They've both lasted fairly well. I really like this. If I want a pinky purpley look, I'm very happy with this palette from Bare Minerals. But overall, the Laura Geller eyeshadows just edge it for me. I love how creamy and smooth and buttery they are. I've got a beautiful mix of mattes and shimmers in here, and I just prefer that neutral look. Yeah, and I love this, the highlight shade Perla there is gorgeous. Really like the Laura Geller eyeshadows. And the eyeliner, the Laura Geller eyeliner, these Kajal pencils, I would go as far as to say that these are my favourite eyeliners that I've ever used. They just don't budge. They're so easy to apply. It's soft, it's creamy, it just glides on. There's no pulling or tugging. It's retractable, so you don't ever have to sharpen it. The shade is nice. This is Smoky Topaz, and it doesn't transfer at all. And I do find it to be waterproof. It stays put. Definitely Laura Geller eyeliner for the win. I know I didn't have a Bare Minerals one. I used this eyeshadow shade on an angled brush. And to be fair, it has, it has lasted well, hasn't it, over the day? But no, Laura Geller eyeliner, it's just in a different category. It's amazing. And lastly, I use lip products. Now, I don't have these ones on at the moment. I've got a different lip gloss on now, but I used my Bare Minerals lip gloss in the shade Zen, and I use the Laura Geller lip oil in the shade Runner Up. And they're both lovely. They're both really, really nice. I think I probably like these equally, but if I could only have one, if I had to choose one, it'll be Laura Geller, just because this shade and the amount of opacity that it gives to your lips, and it does last a bit longer on my lips as well than the Bare Minerals one. So there you go. It's pretty evenly mixed, isn't it, between both brands. And oh, the brushes, if we're going to talk about the brushes that I applied the products with, I prefer the Laura Geller brush because I like the fact that it has a lid. I like the fact that it's retractable. I do use this brush with my Bare Minerals foundation a lot of the time as well, and that works really well. So there you have it. In terms of the foundation, which I think is the hero product from both brands, Bare Minerals is the winner, but Laura Geller has some cracking products as well in her range. So there you are. Let me know, what do you think? Do you use either of these brands? What are your standout products from them? What do you think of my face and how it's looking after 6.5 hours? I would love to know. So I'm going to leave it there for today, and I'll see you all again in my next video. Okay, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.